people of this land are Squamish, Tsleil-Waututh, and Musqueam. And now we're really happy to share that we do have representations of the 3 tribes that have lived in this area for millennia. And these are Coast Salish welcome gates, and the carving is distinctly Coast Salish iconography. And it's very common when you go to a village, you'll see a gateway like that, because it's a pathway, and pathways are considered sacred. So in the positive negative depiction, this is the eye of the creator, the circle. And when you see this symbol, it is predominantly Coast Salish symbol. So when we traveled and we wanted people to know that we were friendly and not foe, the delegation in the canoe, they would show the symbol of the eye of the creator. And when you saw that eye, you knew it was family. Family and friends. Yeah. And this work is done by the highly respected Susan Point. Susan Point is what we would refer to as the foremother of the revitalization of Coast Salish art. And the reason why I refer to it as the revitalization is because in the early years of colonization, we were forbidden to do our artwork. It was considered pagan, and it was actually illegal for us to speak our own language and to do our artwork. It was even at one point illegal for us to congregate as a people. So we're past that now, and art is highly respected. Artists are highly renowned in our community, and their work tells our relationship to each other, and equally important, our relationship to our land and the history of our peoples. Coast Salish people typically didn't have very high erect totem poles. We usually had welcome figures such as the gate you see here, which would be a 1 human figure or possibly 2 figures. So that's what differentiates Southern art from the Northern art. And as an artist myself, I just have the utmost respect for the art for both our South Coast and our North Coast. And what has changed from over 200 years ago is that we are very intermarried. And if you are married into a Northern tribe, or you're a descendant of a Northern person, you have the rights to do the artwork. If you're not of Northern descent of that tribe, that is their code and their laws, so you're not able to do the art. So we're seeing a transition of both the South and the North. There's a bit of an infusion, but there's also very strong protocols to follow.
Oh, so when you say that you're not allowed to do the art, it's just what stops you from...
It's respect. Yeah. To respect that tribe, that's their language, and that's their way of expressing their worldview, their history, and their laws.
Yeah, so art is more of a communication than just a thing
it's
of
very much, yeah. In fact, many First Nations and Indigenous peoples throughout the world do not have a word for art, because the production of the work is for us so much more. Yeah, even our spiritual connections. The northern poles I was referring to, they were the first poles erected in Stanley Park, some of them in the 1950s, and yeah, they're definitely beautiful poles. They have their own stories and legends and history associated with them.
So the carvers for these poles would have been from different communities?
Yes, what has happened, some of the poles have lived their lifespan and have gone back to the earth, so to speak, and there have been a few poles that have been redone, and it's usually the younger relatives of the first people who carved them that would have been commissioned to redo the pole. But culturally, usually when the pole has had its lifespan and has fallen in our culture, because we believe a tree has spirit, and so does the pole, that you leave the pole on the ground.
So the styles are very different.
They very much are. Here you have the Kwakiwak, you have Niska, you have Tsimshian, all different tribes with their own languages, their own art and customs.
That one there, the middle one at the back, that's fascinating to me. Because actually, it looks like it's almost communicating some kind of a language. The middle one, yeah, the green.
Yeah, behind the Thunderbird. Yeah, it definitely is, and there's definitely a lot of rich stories associated with the poles.